You want to talk about personal responsibility? Let's talk about personal responsibility. You make the decisions, I suffer the consequences, and you have the nerve, the audacity to tell me to pull myself up by bootstraps. You cut off. You take 40% before I see the check. Put your hand in my pocket, get your foot off my neck. Tell me I'm a citizen, tell me I am free, then follow me from birth to death, extracting everything. You regulate my business, regulate my body, regulate the substance, regulate my hobby. Tell me what to eat, and tell me what to smoke. Tell me I'm too stupid to be trusted with a vote that actually matters. Yeah, you'll give me the ballot, but the choices are pre-screened. You already had it mapped out, locked down. Before I hit the booth, democracy is theater, and you own the whole production crew.
Master State, get your foot off my neck. I didn't ask. Get your foot off my neck.
You take it, never give it back.
Get your foot off, Father. Not my God. Get your foot off my neck.
You are a monopoly on violence, dressed up in a facade. You got the only guns that get to be called legal. You got the only courts where justice wears your eagle. You got the only prisons you decide who feels them. You got the only narrative about who the villain is. And when your boys in blue roll up on my street, they answer to you, not to me, never to me. You write the laws, enforce the laws, interpret the laws too. There is no check on power when the check is also you. You tell me to work harder, pull myself up, be a man, while you got your hand inside my every single plan. Zoning laws, license and permits just to breathe. You manufactured every obstacle and told me to achieve.
Get your foot off my neck. I didn't ask. Get your foot off my neck.
You take it, never give it back.
Get your foot off my neck. Not my God. Get your foot off my neck.
You are a monopoly on violence, dressed up in a facade. Let me be specific about what you actually are. You are not a social contract. You are not a shared agreement. You are not the will of the people. You are a gang that got big enough to call itself a government. You have a monopoly on force and you use it against the same people you claim to protect. You tell me I'm not smart enough to choose my own medicine, but you're smart enough to start a war with my kids as the soldiers. You tell me I can't be trusted with my own body, but you can be trusted with the nuclear arsenal. You talk about bootstraps, while your boot is on my throat. You talk about freedom, while you hold every single exit. You are not my government, you are my owner, and I am done pretending there is a difference. You find me for the garden that I grow on my own land. You tax the rain that falls on what I hold in my own hand. You tell me that my children belong to the state first, and send me the bill for the privilege of that curse. You'll bail out the banks that collapse the whole economy, then tell the broken, that's just opportunity. You'll fund the war machine to the tune of $1 trillion, then look a hungry citizen dead in the eyes and say we just don't have the billion. Personal responsibility coming from you, the ones who make every consequential decision that I live through. You don't want me responsible, you want me compliant. You want me productive, taxable and silent, and just conscious enough to think that I chose this, just awake enough to service your interests.
Master State, get your foot off my neck.
Master State,
I see you. Master State, get your foot off my neck.
I can read you.
Master State, that's my savior.
Master State,
Not my Lord. Get your foot off my neck. Off my neck. Get off me. Get off me.
get off me. Personal responsibility. You said that you makes every decision that shapes my entire life. You said that to me with a straight face. The audacity of the master is that he genuinely believes he is doing you a favor. He is not. He never was. Get your foot off my neck.
Hi, everybody. So, I decided I'm going to do a live stream today, and after I'm done speaking, I guess you guys can come up because I'm probably going to be taking a break. I'm going to be having surgery soon, and yeah, I'm going to go from a gay black man to a strong black woman. No, not really. I'm actually just getting a nose job. I have a deviated septum, and I've been having chronic sinus problems. So I know I've been sounding nasally. Hopefully, this surgery will help with that, and I can get some drainage. And I'm very behind. I've been wanting to. I already filed my nonprofit, by the way. For those of you who are interested, I'm not going to tell you which state what it is because I don't want anybody to look it up. I don't want anybody to try to derail what I'm trying to do before I even get started. I guess I need to send a copy to the directors. You guys know who you are. I've been meaning to start the animated series. I have so much to do. I'm just behind because in addition to everything I'm already doing, I just got accepted into another master's program, which I'm not sure that I'm going to complete. I think I just want the certificate. I'm not trying to get any more student loan debt than I already have, but hopefully I will actually get it right this time, and this will actually be education that I can actually use. Now, I say that all to say that I'm going to be very busy, so I'm not sure how often I will be able to do live streams, but I'll try to at least do 1 or 2 a week. I don't know, but we'll see how everything goes. So today I'm going to be talking about living off the grid because this is something that many people have proposed to me because I'm an anarchist. They think that somehow living off the grid gets you away from the state. I don't think it actually does. Now, living off the grid is considered an act of defiance, an act of self-determination, and severing yourself from the state. We never consented to the state in the first place. This is something we're born to. Our parents imposed the state on us when they imposed life on us. When they procreated under the state, they made us subjects of the state without our consent. There is no escaping the state. The state has monopolized all land on the planet. Even if you live off the grid, you're not really escaping the state. And I know this because I have already looked into this issue very thoroughly. And I'm just going to explain the pros and cons and basically give my opinion on whether people should do it. By the way, I do hope to live off the grid at some point. Not to say that that is freedom from the state, but I guess I'm going to explain why it is beneficial. But you have to have enough money to do it, and you have to be organized. So you can't just go half-cocked and not have a plan, because if you don't do it right, then you're screwed, and you're going to end up right back in an urban city. So that's not what I want to do. When I retire, when I get enough money, I would like to go live off the grid. Now, I guess my central argument that it's not really freedom from the state, it's only freedom from a municipality. Somebody came up here during one of my live streams telling me that I should go to one of these unincorporated municipalities as if I don't know about them. Yes, they do have these unincorporated municipalities in rural areas. It still is a part of the state. It still is a part of the county. The only part that is eliminated is the municipality, which basically means there is no cities or corporations, right? I know that people say that the federal government and the state are corporate. They are, but they're government corporations. I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories right now, but let's just say municipalities are literal corporations. I guess they're considered public corporations, but they're still corporations. There's other government corporations. By the way, most government agencies were founded as corporations. Another corporation that people don't know about is the State Bar Associate. That is a corporation. This is not, there's no conspiracy behind it. You can look it up. It's an actual corporation. That's why when I was a part of the Occupy movement, they were focusing only on private corporations, and I was trying to steer them towards public corporations that are unaccountable. Basically, these corporations have a sunset provision, which means they don't exist in perpetuity. They do expire at some point if they're not renewed. But what happens is they're up for renewal every 7 years or whatever the term is, and then the legislature just rubber stamps their renewal. You can go to a public hearing and basically argue that it should not be renewed, but it's a well-oiled machine. These public corporations are going to be renewed. I know this is a whole rant that has nothing to do with this topic, but my channel is Pedagogy. For those of you who are interested in, I don't know, sovereignty and how government works, I guess I'm just explaining how public corporations operate, because a lot of people don't even know that there is a such thing as a public corporation. They absolutely do exist. They exist under the state's constitution. Anyway, let me just keep going. There are people who want to be self-reliant, right? They don't want to be dependent on the state. They would like to grow their own food. They would like to. Some of these people actually have their own well water. They may live by a lake, and really they don't rely on the state for anything, or the municipality. Let me be more accurate. They dispose of their own trash. Some of these people are zero waste, right? They may burn their trash. They may just use renewable products. They don't use plastics and things like that, so they don't really need municipal services. By the way, y'all, I don't know if you guys know this. Look at your utility bills, because they don't just charge you for water. They charge you for trash disposal too. And in my case, I got 2 trash barrels because at one point I needed 2 trash barrels because I had a lot of trash. But since then, I've only been using 1. I didn't realize this whole time they were charging me extra every month to have 2 trash barrels. So my utility bill is significantly higher because I have 2 trash barrels, even though I'm not putting out 2 barrels of trash. So basically, I'm just giving you a little tip on how to save money. You can return that other barrel if you happen to have one. But that's really for homeowners. If you live in an apartment, this doesn't apply to you. But basically, the city charges you for everything. And they're really not doing anything special, because you could, in theory, take your own trash to the waste disposable, whatever that location is. All they're doing is picking it up. You can do that yourself. I'm not sure why they're charging you so much money for something that really doesn't cost that much. They're charging you just like a private corporation would charge. They're charging you like $40 to $80 a month, when a private corporation may actually charge less than that. So if you live off the grid, you avoid these charges. You get these and if you don't read your bill, you don't even realize that you're being charged for these services that you may not even be utilizing. You're paying for so many things. You're paying for public school, for all these breeders who have children. Their lifestyle is being subsidized by you as a life abolitionist or an anti-natalist. They want to condemn you for not having children. Meanwhile, you're subsidizing their gluttonous reproductive practices. Every time they have a child, you end up paying for it. And yet, they're not grateful. They just feel entitled to it. And then they would shame you for not having any children. They should be thanking you for your sacrifice. And like somebody recently said on my channel, antinatalism without May makes antinatalists sacrificial animals. Because you're forced to continue existing. You have to pay for your involuntary existence, and you also have to pay for other people's children. So you're trapped, and there is no escape. Now, one of the main reasons people live in urban cities is because that's where the jobs are. Unless you have a business or some other way to support yourself, it's probably not going to be feasible for you to go to some small town. Now, if you sell goods online, if you have an online business or something like that, it really doesn't matter where you live. Now, when people go off the grid, they usually are trading these municipal services for self-sufficiency. They may be seeking energy independence. They may have solar panels, which is going to lower their energy costs. By the way, you can get solar panels even if you live in an urban city, but they still charge you for this. I don't know how this works. It does reduce your energy charge, but it's not going to completely eliminate it. They do collect rainwater. Many of them will use wood heat. So they're breaking down these monopolies, right? They're becoming self-sufficient. When you live in a city, they have a monopoly, and you basically have no choice but to use these services. You escape municipal governance. If you live in an unincorporated municipality, the zoning laws that dictate how you use your property don't apply. Property maintenance ordinance that regulate your lawn, those don't apply. All of the traffic cameras, the license plates readers, the municipal, they have code enforcement for every damn thing, and these parasites will be lurking around looking for code violations so they can find you. They've never find me, but I know they have find my neighbors. And of course, they think they're doing some type of public service. I know that when I lived in my townhouse, I parked on we didn't have many places to park. So sometimes if I had visitors, they would park on the grass. Well, you're not allowed to park on the grass. There has to be ground. These ordinances regulate where you're allowed to park, even if it is your own property. So you live off the grid, you can do things like homestead, you can have a chicken coop, you can raise rabbits. If you are really efficient, you can grow your own crops and not even have to go to the grocery store. But that's if you know what you're doing, because you basically have to utilize all of your space. You have to know how to store these products properly. I mean, you have to store it properly and can it and whatever, dry it out. It's just a lot of skills that most people don't have when they live in urban cities. But the problem is, you lose the infrastructure. That's what AVG was talking about when we had our debate. We didn't really get into overpopulation, but the crux of her argument is that we need human beings to maintain infrastructure. I don't think you do. That's the whole point of going off the grid and becoming self-sufficient. infrastructure only benefits the cities. Before I keep going, let me make sure that my mic is on because I know the last. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody can hear me because I don't want to keep talking like I did before and my mic was off. I know people have. I know there's a lot of comments. I know. I just saw Witchy's comments. I know people have a lot to say, so I am going to open it up when I'm done because maybe some of the things I'm saying are not completely accurate. This is just me doing my own research. I've watched some YouTube videos. I've done some, digging, but I have not personally lived off the grid. It's something that I aspire to. I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. There are some states that have better weather than where I live, but also the land is a lot more expensive. So I don't know whether it be an ideal location. I know some of you have talked about possibly creating a compound for antinatalists. That would be great, except, antinatalists don't necessarily get along. There's a lot of infighting going on. So I don't know that a compound is, I think a compound of anarchists would actually work better because we tend to just mind our business and we don't, I don't see a lot of infighting going on with anarchists because of the core principles that we have. Live and let live, mind your own business. That's just the way we tend to think about things. So once you get past the commonality of not wanting to procreate, what else do you really have in common? What do you have in common about your lifestyle choices? I don't know. What your day-to-day interactions? It's a nice thought, but I don't know. I even think life abolitionism would work because life abolitionism does incorporate anarchy. There's more philosophy behind it than simply abstaining from procreation. So if you move to an unincorporated municipality, you do lose public transportation. You lose public libraries. You may even lose paved roads, which basically means that there's an emergency. Well, you're not going to be getting services from the city. You're going to be relying on the county, which may not even be close to your location. That could be 20, 30 minutes out. So you're probably going to have to defend yourself if there's a physical threat. You need to probably learn to operate a handgun or a shotgun. I just went to the range last month and yeah, I try to go to the range at least once every year. I do have a gun. I am strapped. Yeah, it's something that it's a skill that you need to know how to maintain, because if you don't go to the range frequently, you do lose it. You forget how to hold it. You forget about the recoil. You do forget about how to handle it properly. So you really do need to go to the range every once in a while to keep that up. So and for me, living off the grid presents a different problem because, well, as a member of the LGBTQ community, where am I going to find like-minded individuals? I don't know. I would assume that people who live off the grid are probably already partnered with someone who they're going to be with most of the time. Traditionally, they probably already have families. So that is another problem, because I have lived in a small city and it was a problem because there was nothing like that. And it was very boring and depressing. But I don't know. I guess that's a separate issue because I hope to not grow old anyway. But I don't have control over that yet. But hopefully we all will have the ability to avoid old age. So I don't know if that's unique to the LGBT community, but there is going to be a smaller dating pool. You probably should find your partner before you even go off the grid. But in exchange, you get peace. You get peace, but you have to do everything yourself. Or you have to at least organize so that maybe somebody else could do it. I mean, that might be an opportunity to start your own business, because maybe you could create a private company that collects trash. They do have shuttle services that run in these small towns. Again, living off the grid does not allow you to escape the state. Every inch of land on the planet has been monopolized by the state. Just by existing, you are a subject of some jurisdiction. You still have to pay county taxes. You still have to register your vehicle. I know there are these sovereigns who go around with their private license plates. It doesn't really bode well. Maybe it works, because I've seen the YouTube videos. They get away with it when they're in their small cities, but when they go into town because they need to go to Walmart or whatever, that's when they get pulled over by the road pirates. So at the end of the day, you can say you don't consent. You can say the laws are illegitimate, but they rule based on brute force. And so whether you consent or not is completely irrelevant. Your parents consented. They imposed life on you. They made you a subject of the state. By the mere fact that you exist, the state has jurisdiction over you. They're going to argue that it's tacit consent, because if you didn't consent, you could just move. But even if you did move, you would still be a subject of somebody else's state. So there is no escaping the state unless what I'm proposing gets passed. So I don't believe in tacit consent. I don't believe yeah, I guess I can address that separately, but it just doesn't make sense. You can't. Tacit consent does not form a social contract. There has to be actual express consent. Not, I mean, it's not implied. It's not inferred by your conduct. And I know a lot of people think that anarchy is simply existing without laws. That's not what anarchy means. Anarchy is about living without a state. It doesn't mean that you can't have laws, that you can't have rules. It's about consent. Actual consent, not tacit consent. Basically, you would just form contracts for what you actually agree to. Not an applied contract, not a tacit contract, but a real contract that you would actually opt into. You don't get born into it. Your parents don't get to consent on your behalf. You consent on your own behalf. Real anarchy is structured. It's not just going off into the wilderness and fending for yourself. The law of the jungle, that's not anarchy. It's mutual aid networks, pooling resources, dual power institutions, tenant unions, worker cooperatives, community land trusts, non-hierarchical communities that make decisions collectively rather than vertically. So living off the grid will not get you sovereignty. I think sovereignty is impossible under the current system, which has monopolized all land. We do live in a statist world. No amount of solar panels or rainwater tanks is going to free you from the state. You're still going to be subject to taxes, to harassment. You still live under this capitalistic system in which you have to either purchase or rent land in order to exist. You still have to use their paper money to engage in trade. You can establish a barter system, but you still have to pay taxes, which means you're going to need to operate with their fiat currency. So I don't think there is any escaping the state. The only thing you can do, well, I know the libertarians have their Free State Project, but I don't even know what type of progress they're making with that. You could basically capture a state and then turn the power over back to the people, but there has to be enough people who are willing to do that, and most people are not. Most people don't even give a shit. Most people are asleep at the wheel. Like I said before, they're natural slaves who don't have any fight in them. They want to be subject. They want to be slaves. So, unfortunately, you're outnumbered. Now, let's go through some of these comments. We have some comments about D&W. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me go through these comments. I don't know what this happened. Okay. Now let's go to the next comment, Witchy, and then I'm going to see if I can bring people up. Let me post that link right now before I start losing people's attention. I know I'm having technical issues, so I don't want to start losing people. All right, so there's the link. They help veterans get their own farm, or okay, yeah, that would be nice. Um, Maybe I need to look into that. High set scales.
Hello. How's it going?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you still reading the comments?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are you still reading the comments? Or
I am, but you can talk. I know you said something about how you were on the other channel and they got mad at you or something.
yeah, they kind of did. But I think they were carrying energy over from this argument they had before I went on. And they just ended up saying all these things that were wrong, and they just looked kind of dumb. They look so dumb. Oh yeah. But anyway, um,
Well, they just allow certain people to rant on, and I don't know. It's just chaos over there, and I didn't see it, so I can't really comment on it. But I do know that they pile on and they do interrupt, and certain people are allowed to speak longer than others.
well, they kept saying one thing they actually said was that the animist religions and belief came out of monotheism 5,000 years ago. And that is just so wrong. It's sad how wrong that is. And they went up there and they said that and believed it wholeheartedly. I was like, oh man.
I have to read this comment. DNW tried so many things for his erectile dysfunction when all he needed was machine lice to touch his taint.
Yeah, that guy is
Apparently he wants me to touch. Let me stop. I don't want to throw shade.
this retro polymath guy. He was DNW's mod, and he was mod godding, and then DNW removed his moderator status, and now he's salty. That's what it looked like to me.
Well, I don't know. I just know that every time they're always telling me things that are being said about me over there, and they've been trying to get me to go over there for months, and then when I finally went over there, they just put me on mute. I'm like, you said I have 3 minutes to speak. Everybody's interrupting me, and then when I try to reclaim my time, you put me on mute. So why would I go over there when you're not even going to allow me to say anything?
Oh no, they interrupt me a lot too on that show.
Especially when you're talking about that specific topic. They're not interested in what you have to say. They think they're right. If it has anything to do with veganism, I don't know. It's like this whole circle jerk where they're right, you're wrong. That is the only way to exist. Anti-natalism is bullshit, and their values, their ethical framework takes priority over everything else. Now all of a sudden they're all ears. Everybody wants to get serious. You can joke about humans suffering, right? They'll tell you to get over it. they'll tell you, oh, the animals have it worse. But if you say anything about their framework, all of a sudden they just want to pile on and they all just want to form up like Voltron and gang up on you. Like, what the hell? You can't make any minor critique about what they're. So if you're not interested in what I have to say, because you actually could convince me to go that way, but you're not interested in what I have to say. So basically, fuck you. I'm not. Why do I need to give up my diet? Why do I need to? It's like they're asking you for a favor, but they don't want to make any concessions. They just want to make their demands, and yet they're bringing nothing to the table. A bunch of broke bitches who are not buying your groceries, but they still want to tell you what you're allowed to consume, and they're offering absolutely nothing.
They mainly interrupt me when I talk about anarchy or objective morality, those sorts of things. There are a bunch of statists on that show, most of them.
Right. And then they just gaslight you. They're talking about something completely different from what you're talking about, but they want to pretend that it's the same thing. That, oh, if you support their cause, it somehow magically circles back to give you what you want. No, it does not. You're not even talking about anything close to what I'm talking about.
It's a common debate tactic, they talk around your point. A lot of them maybe don't know how to address it. But yeah, that's what this one guy was doing to me on that show. Vibe Point, yeah, him. But if you want, we talk about the topic of your show instead of focusing on BMW. Because I don't know how often you talk about this, but historians like Yuval Noah Harari, who I would consider basically the Karl Marx of today, says that our technology is at a point where we can just put it inside people's body and use it to hack their biology the same way that we use algorithms to program computers. And from that point, there will be no escape from the state. What would you say to people like Yuval Noah Harari?
What are you talking about, like putting a chip in somebody?
Well, there's a whole lot of different technology. One example of this technology I know of is called graphene oxide, which are these very, very small, they're one atom thin nanoparticles. They're shaped like a hexagon. They go into your bloodstream and they are supposed to inject drugs or chemicals directly into your cells. They're designed to penetrate cells and inject drugs into them. And they say that they're supposed to heal any sickness. So if you have a broken bone, they'll go to your broken bones and repair the bones. If you have a disease, they'll go to the disease and target the disease. So this is the type of technology that he's talking about that can hack us.
By the way, Retro, you are more than welcome to come up here. I do think there is unfairness with the moderation. I know that Noodles does abuse his privileges, but it doesn't matter as long as they're on the same page when it comes to that one issue. In terms of the technology, I guess I don't understand, because if you know all of this, how can you justify procreation? Because you're putting the child in the matrix, and you're saying that they have this technology where escaping the matrix is going to be impossible. So how can you justify putting children into the system?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'd say I think most people probably should not have kids because I don't think most people are going to raise them right.
But what does raising them right have to do with it if the system is going to chip them or do whatever it's going to do?
Well, I personally think that this technology is a little bit overrated, and I think that there are ways to deal with it. Okay, and what I don't know how they're going to disperse it. If it's going to be voluntary or not voluntary, or maybe they'll find some ways to incentivize um, people voluntarily taking this technology. Like they'll say something like, if we give you these chips or this technology implant, it will be worth, however many thousands of dollars a month.
But
You
that's worker starved coercion. That basically, in order to have the ability to work, you have to capitulate to whatever state is. That's what they did during COVID. If you didn't get vaccinated, many employers were laying people off. So it's not really a choice. If you don't do it, then you're going to starve.
Yeah, that's probably how they're going to do it. And I'm pretty sure there will be people who voluntarily take it. However, I would avoid obviously taking these things, but it's going to get strange with how we deal with this type of stuff because if they really do have this technology in them, which I don't think they do now, but if they did, then theoretically they should be able to transport these nanoparticles just through skin contact, like just touching someone's hand, because they should be small enough to travel through pores into someone else's body.
Okay, but it's just so many things that are mandated by the state, even like vaccinations. Like when you have a child, they vaccinate these babies at birth, and then they also have to get vaccinated to attend public school, which is also mandatory. So if they're not doing that voluntarily, I'm not sure why they would do anything else voluntarily. They don't care about your consent.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, in that case, you don't have to put your kid in public school. So that would be one way of not consenting, even
Well,
though that would require.
most people live in these urban cities. A lot of them are single mothers who have to work, and then public school is just a free daycare center. And so, yes, they're not going to homeschool their children because they don't have the ability to do that. And if they don't put their children in public school, then they go to jail.
Right. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't live in the city. I think that the closer you are to these cities, the more difficult it is to escape the state. Or at least limit the states being in your life, which is what I think off-grid has been all about, because it's all about limiting the amount the state interferes in your life, which, is not always complete or total, but you can minimize it to certain extents.
I don't know if people are aware of the machine lies is here. I'm not sure if people are aware of the sovereign citizens. I don't want to use the term sovereign citizens. The sovereigns in Montana that were raided by the federal government. They were minding their business. That's where all of this language comes from. It's from Montana. And so they say you can just live off the grid. Well, the government would just raid you and force you to integrate into the state.
Yes. Well, one thing that I think needs to happen in conjunction with people living off grid is that the people in the city should hold the government accountable to their own standards, because then this would slow the government down in their ability to interfere with the off-grid societies as much. Now, they still will, they just don't have as much manpower or resources to do it because their bureaucratic machine is getting clogged with criticism.
I don't know if you heard my whole lecture about the natural slave. They're natural slave. That's just who they like being a slave. They're not going to resist.
Yeah. What's up?
It's wishful thinking to think that the people are finally going to wake up. They're not going to. When have the people ever waken up and actually stood for their own sovereignty?
Well, there was that one incident where inspired Karl Marx. I think it was the Paris Commune or something like that. Now they ended up all getting killed, but yeah, what's up, TML?
The machine lies. Okay, he's coming back.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
It's kind of low, but yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the audio. I'm not sure how to turn it up at all. Oh,
Let me bring your volume up.
all right, I see.
All right, I think we should be able to hear you now. Oof, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like kicks me out. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know.
I was trying to remove the one. Oh, okay. Let me try this again. You should. Okay. I should be able to still hear you. Are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay, I can hear you.
yeah. I think I'm running too many tabs and stuff. It's just probably just me. But yeah, excellent topic. And right, I totally agree. Right, all of that type of stuff. Right, trying to go to either off grid, or intentional communities and all this type of stuff. I think that it's a dangerous proposal, right? Because creating your own low-tech society next to a highly advanced, right, technological society that puts you at a danger, right, and a risk, and then also, they don't understand how pervasive the system is, right? Like, for example, right, like I bring up Jacques Ellul on my show, and he brings up these two ideas, right? Technical monism and technical universalism, right? Bunch of different machines use the same parts, right? So the system grows, almost at an exponential rate, right? And then there's this idea of technical universalism, that the machine transcends national, right, political, cultural and religious boundaries. So that's what I would say. I don't know if you guys heard me or if I'm still here.
Yes, I heard you.
Okay, for sure. Nice.
Well, I mean, you can't do it. You can't do it alone. You really have to be organized. You have to have your own defense system. You really have to be self-sufficient and have a well-organized division of labor. Like, who's going to produce the eggs? Who's going to produce the clothing? Like, you really have to set it. There has to be some type of community or city planning to actually pull it off successfully. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and that's why.
And what kind of role would technology play in this hypothetical system or your ideal system, LA?
Well, I'm an anarcho-primitivist. I think the more dependent you are on technology, the more beholden you are to the state.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So I think that is the first idea that people have to wrap their head around, right? Is that alternative technology. And you also brought up the idea of sovereign citizens, right? I think this is a dangerous trap, right? Setting up these two sets of books, right, where you're still petitioning the state, right, by another set of laws, right? You're not free from the state, right? And it's the same thing with the, sort of homesteaders, right? They think just because they live on their own, they're free, but you're not free, right? You're still within a state, right? You're just a smaller unit, right? And in that you have to procure your own resources. It's alternative technology. It's not new technology, right? And all of that technology you're still going to get from the state, right? And from the resources around you, right? It's going to be the state that allows you to do all this. Right, so whether in the case of sovereign citizen, or in the case of these small alternative communities, right? I think that it's not a something that's, I think, fundamentally anarchist. I think something that would truly be sort of an idea would be an actual sort of parallel community, right? That parallels what the state accomplishes to kind of wean people off of that way of life, or a revolution against the technological system, right? Which I think that'll be the hardest thing to probably promote and tell people about, right? Because obviously it's illegal, right? Or so on and so forth.
Yeah, one of the options I forgot to mention is that you can actually live on a ship. But you still have to get these point checks, and you're still subject to jurisdiction. So it's not total freedom from the state. I don't think there's any way to actually liberate yourself from the state. And when I was debating AVG, she was talking about living on some deserted island. No, that island is a part of the state. It's even Epstein Island was a part of the state. I don't know which state it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems in that debate. I don't think they really took your opening statements seriously or engaged with them the entire time. So I saw a lot of straw manning going on, and I don't really think they appropriately addressed your positions there. So I did watch the entire thing, so yeah, with some interest, but yeah, I was disappointed on the opposing side, right, or whatever. AVG, I don't think she did a very good job, but she was very smug the entire time. So I don't know. So, strange.
It's not something that they think about because they're perfectly content with being enslaved to the state. What she was saying is that it actually benefits you. I don't know, because you get infrastructure. She believes that the state protects you. I don't believe that it does. I think we need protection from the state.
Yeah, especially when it's merged with the with the techno-industrial system, and it's totally impersonal, right? Anybody can use the system against you. So it's like it's really just like booby traps all the way, right? Yeah. I think Alul. Oh yeah, go ahead, Dom. Sorry.
Most people just want to control the state and wield the technology and the manpower of the state and have it serve their interests.
Exactly. That's the number one reason people don't want to overthrow the state, is because they dream about using the power of the state against others.
You're so right. You're so right. That's why my chapter 8 of my book I don't just blame the state. The master state is the public. They are sadistic statists. They love weaponizing the state, and they use the state to oppress other people. I mean, I know we use the term Karen, but there's a lot of male Karens too. They all just go around reporting people, trying to coerce people to submit. Like they do. They know that there's a merger between the public and the state. They actively support state violence. These people are not innocent bystanders. They're very violent. They just don't want to inflict the violence directly. They use the state to do it, but they support it. And you know this because every time you see a video of a police officer shooting somebody, watch those comments on YouTube. They're all in there supporting it. When Renee Good got shot in her face, the public supported it.
Yeah,
There's no real outrage. There's pockets of resistance, but the majority actually supports it.
yeah.
It's because if they have to deal with the fact that the government can be immoral and evil, then they have to deal with the fact that, number one, they actively empower evil. And number two, the implication of that is, if they don't want to empower evil, they're going to have to rely on themselves and people who they actually know and trust for this common defense that they're always going on about.
It's because they're cowards, and when they see other people stand up to the system, it basically puts a mirror on them. Like, why? If these people can stand up to the system, what's wrong with me? Why am I not doing it? So instead of recognizing their own deficiencies, they project it onto you. They say that you're the problem because you stood up to the authority. They'll say that you're disrespectful. These people don't have a heroic bone in their bodies. Like, they despise people. When you look in history about every major revolution, those revolutions came from a small minority, right? And when you even look at slavery or women's oppression, it was always the minority that stood out. They took the hit for everybody else. And now in hindsight, everybody's just like, oh, if I lived during that time, I wouldn't support it either. Yes, the hell you would, because you're a coward. There's all kind of injustices going on right now that you support. There's nothing rebellious about you. If slavery was legal, you would support it because you go along with the grain.
Yeah. One thing I hear a lot of people complain about is that they think that women's rights and women voters are the problem for modern society. It's like, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that one. Have you ever heard that?
That women's rights is the problem. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard AVG say that. That basically women are too emotional. I'm not sure that she's the one who said it. There's another conservative woman who she followed. I can't remember her name. AVG is basically a clone of this other conservative woman. I can't remember her name. She's this woman who has all these children, and she supports her husband's business. She's like a trad wife. And it's so funny, these conservatives who want to be trad wives, but they're not even married. They're already past their mid-30s. They have no children, and they act like they're so conservative. No, the hell you're not. You're liberal. And you look at their disposition, none of them are all submissive and traditionally Christian. They're like these ball busters who want to dominate. They want to, there's these bosses, right? I think she's sad. I don't want to be the boss. Yes, you are. You're an attorney. How are you not a boss? You don't want to submit to a man. But that's what she said. She's just like, oh, I just want to be a good little Christian. It's not my place to make those decisions. My husband should make those decisions. I'm like, what the hell? It sounds very romantic to think that a man, I don't know what, it's just like they don't, again, that's a natural slave. They don't want to be responsible for their own decisions. They want to defer to somebody else. So the woman is submitting to a man and the man is submitting to the state. Why not cut out the middleman? Why are you submitting to the man when the man is not even the alpha? The man is submitting to the state. So you might as well cut the middleman out and directly submit to the state. You may as well just have a bunch of children and go on welfare. What do you need a man for?
Well,
one thing. Yeah, go ahead, Simon.
oh no, I was just gonna add as an addendum that they're actually Christian nationalists, so they want their idea of the church to merge with the state. So they actually do believe in petitioning the state for all sorts of rights, and they believe that they try to scapegoat liberalism as the greatest problem in the world when it's just a residual ideology that's just part of the modern system in the modern world. It's just liberalism is just as complacent as any other ideology, right? But go ahead, Dom.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And, what I was going to say actually kind of goes with that because, throughout the debate, I even went on that panel and told them, I don't think that anyone on AVG's side understood the difference between sovereignty and liberty. They think that freedom is equated with privileges that the collective grants on your behalf, and now you are bestowed with the ability to act in the world because you are authorized by the state to act in that certain way. And if the collective or the state disapproves of you acting in any other way, like in a way that explicitly tells you, for example, you can't fish or build this house or whatever without a license, well, then you're going to be punished. Because this is liberty.
Retro, I'm not aware of that whole situation. So, I did offer you to come up. So if you, I don't know, like, I'm not aware of that history. So I wasn't aware
yeah,
that you were docs.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about it. Yeah, he's totally lying about that, right? He just said that he just claimed that me and Dom doxed him on DNW's channel. It's proven that this guy's a liar. You can go back and watch the tape yourself. Like, he did it to himself. He just lied right now in the chat. I'm not doing that. This guy's totally a liar.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know the history, so I can't take stuff on this issue. I wasn't there.
Well, I'll tell you the history. He got mad at the points I was making on stage. I'm on DNW. He got up, on DNW's show, it called him spineless, right? So DNW took away his moderator status. Then he got up and called DNW the F slur. So DNW kicked him from his channel because he's monetized. So that's all that happened there. And now he's claiming that we doxed him and all this stuff. The guy's a total liar. And he's claiming that we're stalking him. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, to be honest. The guy's a total liar. I think he's a piece of shit liar, to be honest. That's really what it is. It's apparent. So I don't know. You can research this yourself. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. And Dom will confirm everything I'm saying.
Yeah, he was deleting my comments with his moderator status because he said something about someone needs to go and take the myths and put them together. And then I said, you should check out my channel. And then poof, that message was deleted. And it just kept deleting. So I went on the panel and told DNW.
Yeah, he's like literally just spamming your chat. I think he's trying to derail the chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were having a great discussion, but yeah, he's obviously not focused on that.
We can go back to talking about that because I really don't want to stir up any more drama.
Yeah, I don't care about this guy.
I forgot what we were just talking about.
I said they don't know the difference between liberty and sovereignty.
Right.
The AVG.
Yeah, okay. What I wanted to say is that they think that our rights come from the Constitution, that our rights come from the government. They are not. We have pre-political rights that predate the state. That is the whole purpose of the Constitution, is to protect our natural rights. The Constitution does not create rights. It only enumerates rights which already existed. So there are certain inalienable natural rights that we already have, which the state cannot violate. But the way the Constitution has been interpreted is that states have rights, which basically means states have the right to control you like a slave. They have general police powers. They don't actually have to source their authority back to the Constitution, because the state can basically do whatever it wants. And your rights have to be balanced against a state interest, and usually the state wins. I don't think people realize how bad the legal system is because they have never actually challenged the legal system. They think that they have rights that they don't actually have. They think they are freer than they actually are. I don't think these people have ever bucked up to the system. They have never litigated a civil rights case. They don't know what they're talking about. Even AVG, who is an attorney, I don't want to talk about her personal business, but suffice it to say, I know the area of law that she practices. She is not a civil rights attorney. I don't think this is her cup of tea, because even when we were talking about it, she had to look up what qualified immunity is.
I'm pretty sure she's like a paralegal or something. Wait.
No, she's an attorney.
Oh, really?
She's an attorney, but she's basically a corporate attorney. She works in-house.
Oh, okay, I see.
Which, if you're in-house counsel, you don't really do any litigation.
I see.
So I don't know. I just think it's really, what was his name? Charles Evans. He said that an attorney is either a social engineer or he is a parasite on society. I've talked before about Justice Brandeis. Justice Brandeis is the Supreme Court justice who was appointed by Woodrow Wilson. He basically blackmailed Woodrow Wilson. And then he basically created this whole capitalist corporate attorney who's a complete money chaser, who doesn't really care about the Constitution, and is there to become wealthy. That all came with Brandeis. I've been meaning to talk about Brandeis, but when I talk about like history and shit, like people get bored. I don't think I would get that many of these.
Yeah, I talk a lot about history. Maybe that's why I don't get muted.
Are y'all familiar with Brandeis and all the damage he did to the legal system?
No, but I'm aware of Wilson and all the damage he did to this country by letting himself basically be used. He even admitted, he's like, well, I think I might have damaged this country. Yeah, you sure did, Woodrow. That's why he'll go down as the worst president that this country's ever had.
Yeah, I may talk. Like I said, I'm supposed to be having surgery next week. I don't know when I'll have time to actually do that. I have so much on my plate, and it's things that I want to do, and I'm supposed to be working on my nonprofit too. I just have too much going on. I need to really sit down and have things organized so I can like do things step by step and get some of this stuff out the way. But I'm actually trying to do stuff. I don't want to just keep talking endlessly on YouTube. Oh, Machine Lies is back.
Yeah, sorry about that. It crashed out again. Yeah, I don't usually use this type of app, but
Well, I eventually hope to go back to using StreamYards, but my I did have a sponsor, but I don't think that I'm doing enough content to justify a sponsor. I'm not doing it like consistently like I was doing in the beginning.
I'm not sure how that works. Sponsors, eh? Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
Somebody, okay, I don't know if I need to out someone for, yeah. Let's just say that somebody was funding some of my activities. I wasn't,
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Either way, I don't accept funding for my activities online. But yeah,
No, not for me, but just to pay for the StreamYard.
oh yeah. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, I should probably maybe put up a $400 goal or something per year at least. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
StreamYard is $400 a year.
For the upgraded version, yeah. I think it's like there's like a lesser version you can buy too.
Well, it comes with additional features, like you can use AI to make these clips, and you can like cheats courses and all this other stuff. Like, I just had the basic version of it.
Wow, I didn't know it was that money.
So, do either of you know anybody who actually lives off the grid?
There's people who call into my channel regularly who are doing that and attempting to do that. We have an old man that calls in all the time named Rock E. Shepherd. He's kind of like off grid, right? He generates his own power. Right? He's been doing that for a number of years. He raised his kids like that, a homeschool and off grid and stuff. We have another lady. She's also an elderly woman from Colorado who watches our channel named Mary, who's done that. But yeah, there's people that, looking at my show material, they're obviously skeptical about the technological system, and some of them have all sorts of different ideas of how to mitigate the effects, and they're all great things. Obviously, do whatever you can to survive, right? I'm not against that, right? But proposing it as a be-all and end-all solution to the problems that exist for the modern world, I think is a little bit too simplistic, right? As you've pointed out.
Yeah, I think Skrbina talks about 100-year plan of basically scaling down civilization.
Right.
And I think that's realistic. That's pretty much what I also envision. But I would think, I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. He seems to focus very heavily on technology and trying to scale back down to technology from the 11th or 12th century.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, were you gonna say something else?
Well, I would think that it should be more focused on education, and I think that the 100-year scale down to me would just basically look like trying to be as self-sufficient as possible while holding the authorities accountable to their own standard, while teaching kids to be self-sufficient and learn the standards they should be holding the authorities to. And over time, you'll basically, or I would think you should have each generation progressively get more and more self-sufficient and less reliant on the government until you have a generation come along who says, who gets rid of the government entirely because they don't need them. So basically, the
Yeah.
outgrowing the system.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of a lot of the stuff he proposes, right? Because he thinks a lot in terms of philosophy, and he's done a lot of activism, right? He ran for like the Green Party and stuff. He also like ran like a campaign to get like the Israeli like funding like out of the campus and all that type of stuff, right? And he also ran like the Palestinian organization on campus, right, and all this type of stuff. So he was like an interesting dude, like where he would do a lot of like activism, also like working with people that were doing like environmental activism. Like he had a guy named Rob Coronado on the show that actually worked in like sinking like big oil tankers. They did like basically what it was is like we can't really say the word, but they did like sabotage, industrial sabotage, I guess, is like what we can say here legally. Obviously we don't promote that type of stuff, but yeah, this is like a Native American dude. Yeah, so if you look up like Rod Coronado and like those different guys, I mean, it's interesting how like they do propose activism, and obviously he is an educator, so yeah, I think he'd be in line with your idea of educating people. He's a panpsychist philosopher, so he's kind of more into he's written several books on that. So
I see someone else is here.
that's especially here for me. Nice.
What's up?
Here, I'm going to show you what polite is because you guys don't know. I'm not doxing you. I'm not using your names.
Oh, yeah, you're still hurt, huh?
You still haven't grown up. Huh?
Is that's so?
I don't know.
So y'all don't know how this started. So, let me go back several weeks. I was on DNW's show, and again, you were interrupting me. I was on DNW's show. We were talking about machine learning.
You interrupted the entire conversation to talk about your personal feelings. You're stupefying, bro. You interrupted his entire show to go back to the drama from 3 weeks ago.
Wait, no,
you're a retard.
No, you're not even listening. I'm talking about my subject
No,
matter.
you're the
talking
retard
over
that
me.
came on panel
You're
to
being
talk
a
about the
bully
drama
again.
from 3
I
weeks
came
ago.
on the show to share something.
All right, go
I'm
ahead
not
and interrupt
using
the
names.
show. All right, go ahead and interrupt the show.
Okay, so what are y'all talking about? Y'all want me to be part of the conversation? I felt like I was greeted, and now you're gaslighting me
Yeah,
and
do you want to
pretending
be
you're
part
in
of
an
the
argument.
conversation?
Shut up! You're pretending you're in an argument with me.
Wow.
Are you going
what
to
an
pretend the same with
emotional
your mother
nitwit.
off air? I'm waiting for you to be quiet.
You're an emotional nitwit. You came up here to talk about your drama. You can talk about the topic if you want. Go ahead.
Have you let me talk yet? All right. So
I
3 or
have.
4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was on DNW's show, and we were
Okay.
talking about machine learning. You keep interrupting me. We were talking about machine learning, and I was talking about brain frequencies and how we can measure brain frequency and how machine learning can duplicate a dual hemisphere brain. And again, I was bullied on the show by 2 to 3 people that came on and said I was delusional, that I have psychosis. They had 3 people on the show start bullying me immediately, as with DNW, so that makes 4. And I left the show because of that incident. I told them I won't do that, meaning if someone wants to talk to me, I'll talk and share ideas. That's not what y'all are doing right now with me, besides
This dude's
LA.
unstable.
And
This
that's
dude's
not what I
unstable.
was
I'm calling
doing.
it. He's unstable.
I mean,
What did you just say? You just called me a liar and unstable, and I'm not
You are
even
a liar.
using your
You are a
name.
liar. You claim I
Why
do-
are you
claim me and Dom
gaslighting
doxed
me?
you.
I didn't call
claim-
you a liar.
Hold on. You claim me and Dom doxed you. You are a
All
liar.
right, dude. You want
You are
my
a liar.
address so you can call me a
You
liar
are a
and
liar.
unstable to my face, dude?
You're a
I
liar.
haven't called you anything. What am
You're
I
a liar.
lying
I'd say
about?
I'd say any of this to your face. You're a liar, and you
No,
said
you
me and
wouldn't. You're a
Dom doxed you.
coward. You're a coward hiding behind a
All right, well,
screen.
you're no. My
Coward.
name is on the internet. Muhammad.
Why are you bullying people on the
TML,
internet?
yeah, my
I only
name's on the
stopped you
internet.
from
You're a
bullying
fucking coward.
Sean on
Hey,
the
what's your
internet.
name?
And why are you
Hey,
attacking
what's your
me for
name? All of our
defending
names
someone?
are on the internet. Coward. All of our
I
names are on the internet.
defended the
Pussy.
person you were bullying on the internet, Sean. And this is your response
Oh
to
my
cry to
God.
DNW.
Sean, I was bullying. Sean didn't feel bullied. He didn't say he was being bullied.
Yeah,
You're sticking up for him.
because he's your wet noodle. He has no spine to stand up for
Wet
himself. That's how
noodle?
you pick on people. You find weak people. I'm not one of your weak people, bro. You're gonna find your
Good
weak
for
people
you.
out
Good
here.
for you. So you go and lie about people on the internet.
No, I
Nice
haven't
job.
called you a liar yet, but you keep saying shit about me.
It says it in your title.
You
You
keep
stupid
saying stuff
motherfucker.
about me.
What the fuck?
I haven't used your name. You're using it.
So you don't even remember what you said at this point.
I remember. I have a photographic memory. I was not on the
So
panel.
why did you call DNW an F slur? Don't you know that LA is a homosexual man? Like, why do you go and use slurs like that on the internet?
Why are you gaslighting and talking about that? Like, you didn't even talk about the original conversation.
No, why don't you answer the question? Oh, you can't, right?
Because you were one too, and I didn't want to offend you.
Person. You're a hateful person. You're the one bullying people. And
You
now you're
are
a
one
crybaby.
too, and I wouldn't
You're a
want to offend you
crybaby
on
bitch.
air.
You're a crybaby bitch on the internet, and now you're just
No, you are. You're the one that cried to DNW to get me kicked out, dude. And I wasn't even on the panel.
I'm done with this clown, LA. You can.
I wasn't even on the panel, and you had to go cry to DNW to do something about me.
You're crying right now.
I was
bitch.
not on the panel, dude.
You're a grown ass bitch.
I was not on the panel.
All right.
I haven't called you any name yet, and you keep spouting names like you're big boy and ready to fight. Are you a big boy?
I am a big boy, and I'm
Then
ready to
put your
fight you.
big boy pants on and put your address on the screen, Doxer.
Okay,
My
Retro.
address is on my channel. retard.
As you can
Don't
see,
watch
I
my
haven't Retro. I haven't been on DNW's channel in a
Yeah,
while.
but these
Because-
guys are terrible. I'm just trying
Because
to
of all of
warn
the drama that
you.
you're talking
Whatever
about.
they say about me, they don't know me, LA.
Now
I've
you won't
known
let
you
the
now
host
and been
talk.
on these shows
Now
for
you won't let the
years.
host talk. Let the
They
host
keep
talk.
talking over me every time I talk. Every time.
Okay, but my point is that I don't go on his channel specifically for that reason because of all of the drama. And I think DNW is the root cause of it. He is the common denominator. He likes to stir shit up and then other people pile on. So I don't know, for me, I think not going on his channel is a good thing.
Yeah, these
I
two
don't-
guys are gaslighters with him, though. I'm trying to warn you.
No, I'm not. DNW interrupts me all the time. He seems to be against my positions generally.
Right.
You don't know me. You know nothing about me, and
Let me
you
ask you
are
this.
who you
Let me
are.
ask you
What
this,
question have you asked me
Resto.
besides where and when you want to
I'm
dox
gonna ask
people
you. I'm gonna
over
ask
and
you this
over
one
again on the
question.
internet?
I'm gonna ask you this one question right now. Were you the one deleting my comments in the live chat?
No, actually, I was not. I don't believe I deleted your comments at
So
scale.
who was it? Who was it then? Do you know?
I'm not a mod anymore. I can't know that
You
stuff.
were a mod. It was right before they took away your moderator status, and it was because
No,
like,
the only person I used my moderator status on was Machine Lies for personally attacking me.
Pussy.
Do you see that, LA? How many names have I called these people?
well, let me ask you
These
this.
are true
Do you
keyboard
think-
warriors,
let me ask
LA.
you
These are
this.
not people
Let me
that
ask you
support your
this,
cause. I'm
Russell,
just trying to
before
warn you.
Before you go on again about whatever, okay? Do you think that we can live off grid to avoid the government?
It's going to be really hard. I think there'll be a breakaway society that tries, and I think they'll have to be politically supported, meaning they will have a political voice for the people that want to go off grid, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're basically going to have to create their own party or within a party to get support.
A party within a party.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the government to allow you to do it, the government's got to be part of it. Meaning, a certain string of the government, the prepper party or something would have to be like, hey, we like what these people do, just like farmers, subsidies for farmers. There'll be small subsidies to keep the '90s Amish people going in the future, is what I believe.
I don't really want to bring the government into it. That's the whole point. I want to get away from the government.
Yeah, it looks
Well,
like
it
you weren't
won't be
paying
allowed
attention.
here unless you join a monastery monk thing or whatever, denounce your citizenship, and then they'll find you anyway and just jail you.
Which is why people shouldn't procreate, because they're putting people into this system without their consent.
With that, I agree.
So that was my point, though, that you can't really escape the system. But I'm just trying to say that I don't know. You're not really escaping the state. You're just escaping the municipality.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it would
don't
have
know.
to be. It would have to be part of political structure. You know what I'm saying? They would hunt people down that don't vote, don't get vaccine, don't go to public schools. Just like you said, they will find you if you're an outlier and charge you with something. They're going to charge you with jaywalking and give you 20 years or a fine you can't pay.
Well, but the problem is that they don't have the infrastructure yet in these rural areas, and so if you don't, I mean, that's why they need people to procreate so that they can create the infrastructure. If you don't have paved roads, if you don't have cameras and drones everywhere, it's not going to be enforced. I mean, they're still part of the state, but I mean, if you go in some of these small towns, yeah, there may be laws on the books, but they're not enforced because there's no police.
Right. I mean, but there will be citizen police kind of people just narking on each other and drones and cameras everywhere.
You know, one thing that the surveillance state will rely on in the United States, at least, are juries who are willing to cooperate with the state and their surveillance systems. So if juries vote to acquit people for jaywalking or whatever that are caught with a flock camera,
I think they're going to get rid of a jury. I think it'll be like an AI jury in the future or something weird. Do y'all think y'all get picked for jury duty 10, 20 years from now?
I already
I
don't
would never get picked for a jury, even if I got called.
I haven't been called to jury duty in 4 years or 5 after I basically told them I don't go by their standards. I go by my own principles.
You have to be registered to vote. That's all. And they don't care what you say, but they'll still send you the document. You have to give them a reason why not.
I gave
I
them
got registered to vote because I got tired of being called, having to take a whole day off, and I never get picked. It's you're not compensating me. That's slavery. Why do I have to come and work for free? I don't even see how that's legal.
You get paid more for federal cases than the local one.
Well, if they don't select you, you don't get paid at all. They just base the parking is $10 and they give you $8. So you have to pay $2 out of your pocket for the parking. Well, every
Yeah, I mean,
company does
you
it
got to get
differently.
dropped off by somebody and then get your parking validated or something. I thought I got mine validated. I thought once for jury duty. I'm not sure though. Other times I got dropped off.
Well, every county does it differently, but in my county, the parking is privately owned, and so they can't just validate it. It, yeah, Fatima's here. Let's bring him in, or her. Sorry, Fatima.
Hey, what's up, nuts? No worries. How you guys doing?
So
You hear from you.
Hmm?
Always better when I hear from you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. So I'm on my phone right now.
He said, Machine Lad says he's backstage. Let me see if I can bring. I don't see Machine Lies. I don't. Can you drop down and then try to come back because I don't see it.
So is the topic is that like there's no escape from the state? Is that correct, LA?
Right. I don't think living off the grid is escaping the
It's
state.
not. No, 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 it's not. They already have their hands on everywhere. Yeah, like no, there's no way you can escape the state unless you like take drastic measures on your own life. That's the only way you can do it. It's very expansive. It's a leviathan. And like it's almost like actually I was reading something earlier today. It was written by Julius Evola. He was like an Italian philosopher. He says that you have to write the tiger. The tiger means like a modernity, or the expansive technocratic bureaucratic state, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you just have to have the mindset that you have your sovereignty in place, even though like the body doesn't have sovereignty, your mind does, and your mind kind of tolerates, or your mind like dictates like what you do.
Can you, Machine Lives, can you drop down and try to come back? Because it's not showing up on my end. I don't see it.
Some glitches going on here.
With D&W hacking us.
Oh, is that you, Retro?
Yep. I was just trying to give some explanation from the other day, but I got two people gaslighting, telling me I'm a liar and calling me a pussy on air because they won't even let me finish the sentence. But it's all
Oh.
good. Whatever they think is whatever they think, and if that helps them out, makes them a big boy, and their shoe fits even though it's 2 sizes too big, and that makes them happy, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like I don't go on that show anymore except to like
Yeah, I mean, it's
harass
definitely
like
D&W's fault, but their brains were too small to realize that. He sent them, the bullies, to gaslight me. Whether they mentally can conduct themselves physically in their own brain to feel whether or not that's happening, I can't, be that judge for them. But I can tell you as a witness sitting there, that's what happened. Now, these people think they don't like me, but that was put and distilled in their head with their own attitudes, with how they thought they should act. Now, I don't tell people how to act.
Yeah, don't. No, that's not good. Yeah, you are one of the more well reasoned people on that show. When I came back there in January, you were pretty smart and cordial. You still are, of course, but like still like I don't like anyone there. I don't like him anymore. So yeah, it's whatever.
And the
Yeah, that's
last
what
time
I
I
actually
was
said to
there,
him. Yeah, I said Fatimo's right, and then yes, I cussed him
Oh,
out
when did you
last
say
time
that?
I
Like
was
in the
there, Noodles was putting me on mute
when they let
because
me in.
oh, sorry. Yeah, like go on.
I was talking to that vegan guy. What is his name?
Gary.
Gary Yorsky, whatever his name is, and we were actually having a good conversation, and Noodles was putting me on mute. I'm like, why are you muting me? Like,
Because he's a bitch.
Yeah, I've tried forever to get along with Noodles, but try is key word. Try. It's not easy.
Out of respect for LA, I can't say my true thoughts on people on that show because his channel will get taken down for hate speech. But yeah, just imagine like every like grotesque hate speech towards him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it thinned out. A few months ago, he had a lot of, I don't know how long ago, 4 months ago, he had a bunch of like white separatist kind of people on there. What do you call those people? I mean, alt-right. And it was like, what is going on? I didn't know where they came from. And he didn't even understand dog whistles of the alternate right. And they're all using them on the show. And I'm like, whoa.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because I think I know who you're talking about. Those people that are just a bit more edgy than
This
than
is a
like
couple
the
months ago.
convention.
This isn't now. I don't know what happened.
I
to
know.
them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, this happened like a few months ago. Yeah, they were talking about like eugenics and stuff like that. Well, I think that like I think those are just people that don't really believe in what they say, and they just want like attention online. And he was allowing that, because like I guarantee
Because
you,
that's
like
what he wants. That's why I
yeah,
won't be on his show anymore either. That's all he wants is attention and views. He
ex-
doesn't care about what's right or wrong or letting people
yeah.
speak. No.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't care about good inquiry or like philosophical inquiry, and like he both him and his entourage of vegans were like uh pathologize you if you don't think the same way as they do. They'll think, oh, you had
Right. I mean,
trauma. Yeah.
the point is me, Sage, Divine, yourself, like all the people that have been there longer than the average people, there is no rewards with being there longer. There is no rewards with modding longer. There is no rewards when
No,
DNW leaves for an hour and lets you take over a show. He does not reward anybody. There is no step up from there. It's only step down.
exactly. And he's very, two-faced because D&W tried to like text me on Twitter and on the Discord saying if I was he even tried to call me, bro. I don't like that. I don't like when it's not to say I don't like when people call me. It's just that I don't know you too well, but I only known you for like 5 months at max, and you're calling me now. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so weird. Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. You should know that. I literally say every day, like, I'm not always in the best of moods on your show. Are you stupid?
I
You
mean, they
know.
can change that though. I mean, but they don't want to. Meaning, it's just like how they treat Crazy Guru too. It's just like anybody that has a neurodivergent disorder, you basically have to talk them down, not gaslight them. And I don't understand why that's the regular protocol on there.
I don't I don't know because they themselves are what they claim that we are, like, narcissistic, selfish, psychopathic. They are that themselves. Everyone is shitty in my opinion, and like they prove it to me. They claim to be like, holier than thou, know-it-alls. So yeah, I hate those people, self-righteous people.
Yeah,
I
I don't want to
hate them.
name any of the people, but I mean, that's why I went back on. It had started to get a little bit better, I thought, and that's when I went back on, and that was a few weeks ago. And I went on like 3 times since then, and half the time I was muted as well. And I just sat there and didn't know my purpose. Once I'm sitting there for an hour and not able to speak, so I'm like, I get on a second, just tell him I'm leaving, and no problems there. But I thought that he was giving everyone an hour to 2 hours that I thought was a regular guest, and I openly asked. I said, if DNW wants to get an hour out of me, let me know when it is, and I'll see my schedule, and I'll book an hour show. He never got back to me. So at all, and instead he did what he did recently, which actually is beyond the people here. It's how he is, and he uses other people. So it's like, just like he used me to mod his show, he used me to host his
Yeah, he
show.
uses
He
people.
used me, guys. He's going to
Yeah.
use you too.
Yeah,
However
he
you think
used
your value is with him, there is no value.
exactly, like
He
he
kept
used
he used to
sorry.
fake me. He said he was going to interview me about my book, and then he never did it. He kept like pushing it off, and
Yeah.
then he started talking shit about my book, saying it was a piece of shit, and I'm
Yeah,
not
he did.
speaking.
Even though he actually
And then
didn't read it.
he told me to get off his channel and he didn't need me. And then when I did leave, he's asking me to come back because he wanted me to debate. He wanted me to debate vegan gains.
Vegan gains,
Um,
and like he came back in May, like to like say, hey, I'm sorry if things got hairy, blah blah blah. I want to like
right.
give like
And
a
then
presentation of your
he
book.
came trolling my channel, talking shit about how I was hanging around with Ethelis. And
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? I did one interview with I don't even know if he identifies as an Ethelis. Like, what are you talking
illicit
about?
mind. Yeah, I don't think he does anymore, but still, he just has like a few like effortless leaning points, but he's not fully one himself. I have seen him talk before. He's not. He's just that. He's just. I don't know. He's just trying to trying to like make up to what he feels the time he had with us to like be someone else entirely. So he's just trying to shame. It's kind of like how a lot of people who are part of groups and they leave the group and they start to hate them. Like a lot of people who are like that, like especially in like the trans community, they like once they detransition, right, they could just go back to being normal people and still have support and say that, hey, this wasn't for me, but no, they have to ruin it for everyone else. I fucking hate those kind of people. Like,
I'm part
But
of science
but I don't
and
see how
spiritual
D&W
communities.
can
I have the
talk
same
shit.
problem.
I don't see how D&W can talk shit about somebody interviewing me when he promised to interview me but did not keep his word. So, um, yeah, at least that alleged Ethelis kept his word and you didn't.
yeah, right. And what did you say, Recho?
I forgot, but it was to do exactly with what you are talking about. But
Yeah.
it was in the swing of that conversation of those words, sir.
Yeah, of course. No, 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 no. It's true. Like, yeah, like no, like he's just trying to like compensate for what he feels was like wasted time with AN and other related ideas. So that's why he's kind of like, whenever he sees like us talk like this, he's like, oh, you guys are
Yeah,
just fucked in the head, like
yeah. I
what's
just want
the
to.
Oh,
Yeah, I want
sorry.
to. Yeah, I want to ask you guys. Because like a couple of you have seen my channel, right? Like obviously, and all that type of stuff. Now I don't know DNW that much, right? I've just
Good thing you
interacted with
don't.
them for the first time, right? For the first couple of times, right? But the thing is, I think Fatima's been to my channel, right? I mean, what do you think of my channel, right? Is it good or bad?
It's good, yeah, it's good, yeah. No, it's good. No, it's good. I like it. It's just that I've been pretty like preoccupied with other things, especially during at the time you start like at 9 a.m. No,
But I
sorry,
mean
not
the discussions. I mean, like, how do you think it is with the discussions?
Oh, the discussions. I think they're good. Yeah, even though I don't agree with like most of the things being said there, I do like hearing other like perspectives. That are like not mine. It's a bit outlandish.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's a
I
lot
think
of
I think
different
it's
types
I
of.
think it's like entertaining and to me, like it's just online stuff. Like I don't take it seriously anyway. Like if I get annoyed, which I do with anyone, it's not just you. Anyone can annoy me on their show. I'll just like tune it out.
Yeah, I think LA is a very good host as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
it's just that.
appreciate
Sorry.
it. There's that one guy who goes in your channel. I can't remember his name. The guy who just gaslights all the time.
Your human rights, ma trans, is that him? I'm not sure. He's gonna come after me now. Oh fuck.
He acts like he's so pro freedom, but then he's like a hardcore state. I don't understand his whole deal. He just tries to be contrarian. I just
I don't know.
whenever he starts talking, I just tune him out because now I understand that he's disingenuous. He's just
I'm all
going
for the
the other way.
vegetarian thing, but I can tell you that most of the vegans and vegetarians that go on the other channel, the one we won't say the name of right now, that hardly any of them are involved in real animal rights stuff. Meaning, I
Yeah.
volunteer and worked at animal hospitals for years, and every person I've asked on that show, but one, hasn't done anything for animals, just the stuff on the internet and claim they're vegan. I can claim I'm vegan as I'm eating cheeseburgers. No one knows it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I want to know someone cares about animals. I don't care what your food status is. I want, because I'm not with you. You can't prove it to me. Someone can break away from a vegan diet for an hour or 30 seconds. They don't have to tell anybody. So it's just like, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested, yes, inspiring people to be kind to animals is cool. So it's just like rescue animals, cats, dogs. There's a lot of unwanted ones out here, and we don't think about them. We all go to sleep at night, and they need food, they need shelter, and it's just like, what have we done to step up and make sure that happens? So it's just like, when I've dedicated years of my life to that, that's when the vegan conversation starts. I'm like, y'all guys care about animals? I'm like, tell me what you volunteered for and what kind of animal groups or rescue groups that y'all have volunteered or done any work for. And only I don't remember, but one person has out of them that I've asked, but none of the main ones that about that stuff have told me one day they've spent doing laundry for an animal care place.
Yeah, no. Vegans are extremely self-righteous people. And here's the thing, I can understand the arguments for it, definitely. Like everything suffers, yeah. But like wouldn't it make sense to also apply to AN? Like because like the majority of the world eats meat. So like what the hell, like and like what if your child becomes a meat eater themselves? Are you gonna hate them? I don't get it.
According to them, yes. So it's very strange that it overpowers, normal human functions. Yes. So if
Yeah,
this is the only food we have, will you eat it? It's the thing, or starve, or condemn someone else for eating it. And it's just like, well, then we go into the next phase of that conversation. It's just like, what are we doing here on Earth? And should we all just stop eating?
yeah, exactly, right. And like to be a pure vegan is completely unrealistic, it is completely unrealistic.
But they
Uh
really believe that if they just are successful advocates, that they can actually convince the majority of the world to go vegan. Not even just humans, but they actually want to eliminate carnivores. They're not too fond of cats because cats are obligate carnivores, and they will try to make cats go vegan. That's why they condemn, I'm not even going to say her name, for feeding her cats meat. All right.
I mean,
For
I
this-
worked with some vegetarian and vegans at the animal facilities I worked at, and again, they have to feed the dog and the cat the food. So it's just like it happens, guys. And then people fall in love with an animal, they bring it home, they buy it tender victuals.
Yeah, like no, like exactly, and like the brand of veganism that Gary and like VE likes, they want to kill all predation, they want to kill all carnivore species. I'm like, could you apply that to like humans as well? Because majority of humans will not change. Like, so what the hell? Like the fucking slippery slope of like their ideas, and like the fact that vegans want to kill like predatory animals, right? It's just so fucking ironic. Like, what the hell? Like those guys are just retarded, and like I don't, like it's and on that day when they were having like their fucking a vegan circle jerk, right? On that day, like yeah, it was just it was very cultish, extremely cultish how they were talking. It's just it's just very cultish and like stuff like that. And the way that vegan gains says a majority of people are retarded, and like the owl was okay with it. When I say something like that, he calls me like extremely psychopathic. There's a complete double standard if you're not a vegan there. It's like
Vegan
I mean,
gains literally.
BNW kisses butt of those people that are hardly on his show, like Vegan Gains coming on his show. He acts like he's a celebrity. And same thing with
Absolutely.
that other guy that does the similar stuff that's already has his own signs, and he's over in Britain with his signs. And then we have Kenny, which is a weirdo British pro Trumpster that's completely off his rocker. But he
Zionist
is
show.
he's a main point on that show now. So it's
Yeah.
very bizarre. I mean, I get along with Kenny, but not on anything he talks about just because he's a human and that's who he is. I've just accepted who he is. So I'm not going to argue with him, but he says dumb stuff about me all the time. He posted something about me or something recently, and I was just like, I didn't even say anything back because I already know who he is. It's just like, there's no reason,
Yeah.
no one's going to change his mind, and why try? And I'm not willing to. I'm not gonna. There's no amount of forklift that can pry that amount of orange man out of that man's rectum.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
Vegan gains is
I
a
mean, like you could try like a fucking like a 45, but that's a whole other thing.
Vegan gains is a diagnosed sociopath. He has not only attacked meat eaters, but he has also attacked vegans for feeding their cats fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
And this is the part that is so paradoxical. He says that he wants to delete everyone who consumes animal products, yet he's against antinatalism, which means that he supports breeding human beings into existence just
Who
so
could
that
eat
we
meat?
can have the pleasure of deleting them. It
Yeah, who
makes no
could eat meat
fucking
too?
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make fucking sense at all. And I know that the owl shit is really kind of in line with that. I know he is. He's doing a type of like a a taquilla, but like the vegan style of like a taquilla, where like he lies up, he tries to be very humanistic and not as evil as us, or as he thinks of me and LA as bad.
So
But
how is vegan gains any different from an ethylist? I
right,
don't
exactly.
understand. How
Yeah, it
is that
makes
different than saying that you want to blow up the whole planet? It's the same damn thing.
yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
I would
make
agree.
any
I would
sense.
agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like the vegan rhetoric is can easily sound like AN or like ethylist rhetoric that I don't know why some people who are vegans leave that shit when they still have those views. It's just that they don't want to apply to all humans because they think it's unfair. And like, okay, but you still want to kill off all animals who are meat eaters. So what the hell? Isn't that not fair to like to them? And you probably want to like rid the rights of humans who do eat meat, around the
Yeah,
world.
Noodles and Games have made me think about it differently. They almost seem like Batman villains that they be willing to poison the water to make more people vegan. So it's just like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
but
What
I
the
agree with the
fuck?
point of being kind to animals. But besides that, it's kind of like you said, it seems cultish. You were
It is
right.
cultish. Vegans are a
Yeah,
cult. It fucking AN and ethalism is a cult. So is
yeah. It's
veganism
funny
at
that we
this point.
can't like read Uncle Teddy, but they can say that stuff. It's just fun, really funny, right?
Yeah, it is. Exactly. It is very funny. It's extremely ironic that like whenever I say I hate people, they fucking rag on me. But when they say they hate people for eating meat, it's
Oh wait. Oh, we're back. What? What?
Oh, we're back. Hello?
I was just about to go. I was like literally about to go.
Okay, yeah, same. Okay, so we're back. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. 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 Yay. Oh, but we lost Retro. I haven't talked to Retro in months. I
Yeah, I mean,
miss
I
him.
wanted to say, I mean, I'm sorry he lost his mod. I really am, but I don't think it was my fault. That's just all I'm gonna say.
Oh, what happened? I don't know what happened with Retro. Did he say something or what? Because he told
Oh
me.
yeah. Well, he said me and Dom doxed him. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Oh,
I don't
damn.
know what he's
Okay.
talking about. He's like on some weird shit, dude. Like I don't know.
Well, I like the fact that he said to the owl shit that Fatima was right. Like, I love that type of validation. Ha, you know what I mean? I love that type of validation
I
because,
think
like, hmm?
I think LA's not in the studio right now,
He'll
but
come
yeah,
back. He'll come back. Don't worry. He always comes back. It's his stream after all. And Dom wants to link LA if you're still there. Hey Dom, what's up? Haven't talked to anyone in a few days. Just been busy, just trying to get my stuff arranged. It's cool, whatever. It's cool though, yeah. It's just online bullshit. There's a whole world out there that's not included in this space that I've been trying to enjoy more. I've been trying to enjoy more, in the life outside. I made a new friend. It was a Turkish girl I met at the pool. She's a lifeguard. So yeah, it's
nice.
cool. She's gonna do my makeup soon, so that's cool. I like that. We're gonna meet up. I really do like, the real world, quote unquote real world, I guess you can say, even though it's not really real, who knows, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. One of my best friends is Turkish. I've known him since middle school.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I have a very close tie to that country. I don't know. It's like my family's been there a lot. Turkey, like
Oh
my mom
yeah,
went there last year,
yeah.
and
Heraclitus, Saint
Mhm.
John.
Yeah,
What?
mm,
There's so many different figures from there.
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. Like I do like
Suleiman.
Suleiman the Great. Yeah. Who else was there? Uh, Ataturk. Yeah. Even though it's a bit controversial, there's Ataturk.
Yeah, he's like a weird, like liberal Muslim or something.
Yeah, though I think he was a better like statesman in terms of like running a country and an economy than fucking was the current guy Erdogan, like the moron. Yeah, I think he's better than him because nobody likes Erdogan, like not even the Islamists in Turkey like him at all anymore. Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
that's like hmm?
he's like Putin or whatever.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, very
He's
very
like a weird, like he pretends like he's strong, but he's kind of like a cuck or whatever.
wow. Damn. Yeah, I don't like Erdogan. No one does. No one in Turkey likes him. My Turkish friend hates him. She hates her. So yeah, it's like a growing consensus that like he is awful. Yeah. Oh wow, man, Retro. Wait, so doxed you? Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is what he says. He says D&W doxed me when I was not on the panel. This guy keeps saying he doxed me. What? I don't know what that means, man. I said D&W on air struck his bullies on me. This guy took it as an invitation. What? I don't know what he's see this all this shit like this is fantasy land, man. I don't know what he's talking about
Yeah.
at all.
Wait, I'll be back. The audio from my phone is a bit wonky. Hold on, I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
your audio's popping. Yeah.
Well, anyway, the state sucks. They think they're big brother, and people want big brother.
Yeah, it's like sandwich in between like the church and then corporations. Where like it used to be the church and now it's just corporations. And like the church is just one corporation out of many of them. Like some weird shit.
You know, I tried telling some people on a panel one time what corporations were, That they're just basically legal fictional bodies that people hide behind. They're like, no, no, that's not what they are. It's like that's literally what they are. You know, it goes back to what you talk about with Lul, who talks about who is responsible. And the corporation is to make it so that no one is responsible. Instead, they delegate all responsibility to the so called corporation itself. But you, as an individual, the people who are actually doing things, you're not held responsible, you know.
Yeah, and that's why there's a huge problem with techno liberalism, because it combines this idea of you know freedom with this with the total loss of responsibility. Yeah, I'm seeing that, LA. It looks like he can't even bring himself up. Yeah, I was having that problem earlier where like every time I refresh the page, it would then reset the thing, and then it would crash the tab. So
I don't know. I was thinking of using Restream if I ever did do any panels or anything, but this isn't making it look very good. Did I tell you about that panel I was on yesterday?
I saw, dude. I watched it. I watched it, dude. It was really bad, dude. They said that how do you know about history if it's not recorded? That's the part where I really started laughing because I was like, have they never even investigated, like, I don't know, like how people collect data about history? Like there's all sorts, like for example, like when we read that Jared Diamond, right? Like essay, he was talking about how like archaeologists find like waste dumps of like ancient people, and they know like what they threw away, like where they shit, like where they tossed their human remains, and like so on and so forth. So like you find out a lot, like not by like just writing. So it's kind of odd that it's like fucking. Oh, if people weren't writing anything, then you don't know anything about history now. It's like what? That makes no logical sense.
But at the same time, they're bringing up that lake. They're talking about that African, I can't remember what it was called, but they're talking about that African lake and how that tribe there was so cannibalistic, and that's what the archaeological.
Oh yeah, they found one cannibalistic tribe. Come on, man. Yeah, I saw that too, man. That's stupid. And surprise, surprise, it was Europeans. No, I'm pretty sure they said it was in Europe, dude.
They said it was in Africa, but
Oh, really?
it went over. They said it was everywhere. Or like
Yeah,
most.
because the one where she pulled in like that one thing where she put up the channel, where it was like she's like, you should go watch this YouTube channel to get information. Which doesn't sound very appealing. Like it's like, can you refer me to like a book or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like that one atheist who I talked to. He go like, here, look at this book about the competing views of the cosmological model, and then come back and talk to me. That's kind of what I felt like when she pulled up that channel. What's up, Ale?
Yeah, I think he's still working it out.
Yeah, I
'Cause it
can't.
says his bubble's there. Like it says his bubble's
Yeah,
frozen. Yeah, it's frozen. Yeah, that's really crazy, man.
anyway, they said that they said that we're more egalitarian. One of them said we're more. One of them said it, and then the host agreed with the person that we're more egalitarian now than before civilization existed.
Oh, that was dude, that's insane, dude. I'm not even sure how to like you got people going to the fucking moon apparently, and then you know, or building rockets, and then you got other people that are like living in shit huts. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what the fuck in the world? Like, have they not like like what planet are they from? I didn't even understand that,
You
dude.
know what it is they keep thinking I'm talking about history. So he probably thought I was talking about compared to like several hundred years ago, like medieval times when they were feudalistic.
Oh yeah, because she mentioned patriarchy. She said they were like more patriarchal in the past. So yeah, she looked like she went like back like 300 years to talk about the past. It was really weird.
No, she was trying to say that the freaking ancient cultures before civilization were patriarchal and sun worshippers.
I think you're right about that because she was saying like it was all based on the Kabbalah. Like she said, like Kabbalah and Gnosticism go way back, like to like 10,000 BC, and I'm like, what the fuck is this lady talking about? This is some wild shit.
They pretty much told me that Joseph, the one who was sold into slavery by his brothers into Egypt and then became basically this ruler of Egypt. She's telling me that she did this paper of how he was actually from 3000 BC.
Yeah, I agree. Like they're probably older than what we're told. You know, like the dating is off. Like those stories in the Bible are probably much older than what they're attributed to. And I think you've talked about this too. Like they're based on like older stories, right? So on and so forth. So these are actually like think about it. If Adam was there, then why would motherfuckers from 2000 BC have the knowledge of the first dude that ever existed? Like this story is probably way older. Either that or they just made it up, right? Those are the two fucking options, right? So you know what I mean. So I don't know. But yeah, she's saying that 10,000 BC. I'm pretty sure I heard her right. They had like the Kabbalah, and it's like, but she said she doesn't know what's going on then because there's no recorded history. I was really confused. Right?
She's trying to say that the knowledge that the Kabbalah is based on is that old and it comes from ancient patriarchal sun cults, basically, from 10,000 BC and beyond. And it's like, no, what we're
All
talking.
right.
She's trying to say that.
Yeah, here we go. LA's finally here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I had to restart my laptop. It kept crashing.
Yeah, that's what happened to me when I was trying to join.
I'm trying to post a link. I know somebody else was trying to come up, but this has been a complete disaster.
I think it says Fatima is backstage.
And it's starting to do it again.
Yeah, I think you're frozen. I'm not sure, but
Gosh.
oh no, yeah, you're here.
I don't think you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Can you
I
hear
want
us?
to post a link so I can get on from my phone, but I can't even do that.
Yeah, I don't know how you post. You can't really communicate with the chat here.
It keeps freezing, so I can't do anything.
Oh, there's a private chat.
I'm almost like ready to just call it a day because this is starting to give me a headache.
That's fine.
I need to go back to using StreamYard because I don't like this.
Well, if you're going to get off, then I'll get off.
The only problem is that I can't stream on both channels if I use this free version of StreamYard. So that's why I use Restream because I can stream on both channels for free. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this because I can't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate the conversation. Yeah, thank you so much, Life Abolitionism. Yeah,
I
blessings.
appreciate y'all for being here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, great stream. I mean, a really great topic, and despite the emotional tirades, I appreciate Retro and all the people that are here. So, have a blessed day, everyone.
I just want to say that I tried to move away from all that drama. I really don't want to talk about DNW on this channel. I really don't. And I get pulled in, and then they'll respond, and then I'll get blamed for it. By the way, I already lost a subscriber while all that stuff was going on. So that's why I don't really want that on my channel.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll definitely subscribe to you on my alternative channel to make it up for you. But yeah, blessings, brother.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to go ahead and close it out before it freezes up again.
Yeah. Yeah, peace on me.
Laters.
Yeah, peace down. Talk to you soon.
All right.